This here is the boring bar holder that I made last week, and I just came up with an idea on how to test this. Just like I promised in the previous video. In case you're wondering, this is a box cutter accident, a moment of stupidity. Pretty deep cut. Those box cutters are sharp. This piece of rust here is my makeshift tool post clamp. I use it when the original tool post clamp is either too thick or too wide. I think this was a homemade clamp that was used under the bedways of a lathe. To make this piece of rust fit my needs, I had to drill out this hole and tap it M10, and then I had to bore out the tool post hole to 16 millimeters, but that was rather difficult, to say at least. And I will now edit in some clips from that video. There's three things I don't like about the setup. There's this thread that is too short. This lobe is sticking out beyond the workpiece and could get hit by the fly cutter. And I don't like that it is clamping down on the bearing surface of the workpiece. So I'm going to look for something else to use as a clamp. I found something. A piece of cast iron. It's not happening. As you can see, there's a piece missing here out of the cutting edge. I think that might be the reason why it kept getting stuck, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll try and regrind this. Attempt number 2, and this time I'm not clamping down the workpiece. I'm hoping it will line itself up. Maybe a recipe for disaster, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And I'm clamping it down now. I'm almost through, come on! How something so simple like enlarging a hole can become the struggle of the century. Well, at least this stone is holding up. Earlier I was using this diamond burr, and the diamond part came off. That was quite a challenge, and I remember it vividly, but unfortunately the hole still isn't big enough. As you can see, it's not fitting all the way down on the tool post, and when the tool bit you're using is rather thin and the clamp gets set at an angle, it can really pinch the thread on the tool post. Not that it has done all this damage. Most of it was already there when I got the lathe, but this certainly isn't helping. So I need to bore it out, or I should bore it out, to prevent further damage. Since I cannot drill it out on the drill press, I'm going to set this up in a 4-jaw chuck. This piece is rather big for my 80mm chuck, but I think I can hold it if I set it up like this, although it is right on the edge of the jaw thread. I'll probably add some tie wraps to make things a little bit safer, but I think it should work. I'll just stay out of the firing line. Okay, now I'm going to use the tailstock live center and try to get the hole on center where I can bore it out. Oh yeah, this is starting to look better every second. It's not sitting really flat to the face of the chuck. Yeah. Couple of tie wraps and this should be doable. I just did some grinding on the underside, but it's bent. It has a little bit of a bow, so it is not sitting nice and flush against the chuck. It is only touching on the outside circumference of the chuck. It's not ideal, but I think it should be okay as long as I stay out of the way. I'll promise I will wear my safety glasses, but I kinda wish I had a rugby helmet. There really isn't that much thread left for the jaws, but what's life if you cannot take the occasional risk? A little bit tighter on all of the jaws, then some tie wraps, and I should be ready to go. Cannot find any tie wraps. I guess I ran out. The 45-degree angles on the jaws are not lining up with the workpiece. That was like, wait, I didn't see, 400 RPM. Looks perfectly fine. Probably till I start cutting, and then it all goes sideways. Well, fuck the tie wraps. I'll do it without. You know what I could use? A fitting tool post clamp. As you can see, I just got attacked by an angry splinter, also known as a sharp chip. Blood. As you can see, the workpiece comes pretty close to the top slide. If it moves a couple of millimeters to the outside, it's going to be a disaster. I might need to find the telephone number of the guy who braced in that piece, or welded. I think it's welding. I'm going to get a bandage now, because my finger doesn't stop leaking. Look at that. Symmetry. Or blood brothers. Alright. Tool post clamp. Can I use the original one? Probably not. And that's kinda ironic, because now I need to make some sort of tool post clamp to fix the tool post clamp I already made. I found the lazy option. Yeah, looks good. That will work. I gotta think about this for a while. See if I overlooked anything. Besides, I gotta charge the battery. And I'm back. And there should be enough juice in the battery for these last couple of shots. As you can see, I found some tie wraps. They are not the good kinds with metal lips. These are all plastic. I don't think they will help much. There goes my bandage. The bleeding stopped, so I'm good. I don't think they will help much. They are more for a peace of mind, to give me some confidence. So let's do this. .300 RPM. Only a little bit of material has to come out. I forgot my safety glasses. but I'm hiding between the tool post, just looking over the top of the nut here. You know, I forgot to check if the throat of the chuck is big enough. I can't see it. I got a similar blood again. I got a similar chuck. I will measure the throat on that one without disturbing this brilliant setup. Well, I cannot find the other chuck. It's brand new and should be in the original box, but it's gone. Well, I had a look inside with the flashlight, and we're okay. But you can probably see, and you could also hear that, I'm only cutting on one side of the hole. And I'm actually taking a pretty deep cut, deeper than I thought I was doing. It might be close to 1 millimeter. So the hole wasn't lined up properly with the tailstock center, or maybe it was drilled at an angle originally, and that would explain why my drill press had so much problem with this hole and got stuck all the time. Well, let's finish this. I got a feeling that this material is harder than I thought it would be. I take a cut and it takes a long time before the noise goes away. I have no idea how much more there is to go. If I don't run into the chuck, and I don't think I will, the sound should disappear. Let's speed it up a bit. Almost 400 RPM. The finger is still leaking, and I got blood all over the top slide handle. How much further? I want to see. Only a few millimeters left to go. I'm not sure if this is cast iron or some other type of steel. And now it's going to take ages before I find the spot where I left the cut. I don't want to ram the insert into that ridge. And that's it. Should I take a light cut on the return pass? Why not? But at a higher speed. 500 RPM, but I feel a little bit of vibration in the lathe. Dialing it down to 475. Let's just do it. It stopped cutting all of a sudden. Well, forget about it. This should be enough. All this blood transferred from my right hand finger to my left hand. And it is still leaking a bit. What a mess! I ran into the Band-Aid box and the scissors, these weird looking ones. That suck at cutting tie wraps. Got it. Chucky. Where's my Chucky? Removing the blood. This is turning out to be a bloody job. First time ever. And that landed in the container with chips. There it is. Well, it should be round. Let's fit it. As expected. You know, you're supposed to use a spring underneath the clamp, but this one has seen better days, and most of the time it's bothering me. I should have chamfered these edges, but I'll use that thingy you can drag around here to clean it up a bit. Of course, that is AWOL at the moment. Well, alright, that is pretty much it for me. I'm going to get a beer and celebrate my victory. And also change my bandages, because this finger is starting to pulsate a bit. I guess I should have used some disinfectant. It was a pretty deep cut. But that's not a manly thing to do. Normally I would just MacGyver it and use a little bit of duct tape. Although I can tell you masking tape works better.